Once upon a time, in a town far, far away, there lived a rich man who had 3 daughters. The youngest daughter was the prettiest of the 3, and so she was called Beauty. She was good and kind-hearted girl. Her elder sisters were nor good nor kind. In fact, they were opposite, selfish and proud. One day, their father came home looking very sad. When his daughter asked him what was the matter, he replied,
"We are no longer rich. We have lost our fortune, and we must all leave this beautiful house and go and live in a cottage in the country."
The elder two were very angry when they learned this news.
"What shall we do with ourselves all day in the country?"
they asked. But Beauty said, "How nice it will be to live in the country among the woods and the fields and flowers." Few days later, the gentleman found a little cottage with a large garden in the country, and they all went there to live. The father worked hard in the garden, growing fruits and vegetables, and made enough to live comfortably by selling them. One day, father had to go a distant village to do his business, and so he gathered all 3 of them and informed that he won't be returning until next day. He asked each of his daughter in turns,
"Is there any little gift which I might bring home for you?"
The eldest daughter said,
"Yes, diamonds for me. Pearls for me."
said the second daughter. But Beauty said, "Please, father, a bunch of white roses for me." Then the father rode away on the horseback, and Beauty waved to him from the doorsteps. When the gentleman had finally finished his business, he set off for home. Before long it grew dark, and he lost his way. He found himself in a dense forest and could find no way out. Then, at last, he saw a light in the distance and he rode towards it. However, as he drew nearer to the light, he found that the trees formed a wide avenue. He rode up the avenue, and to his surprise, he arrived at the entrance to a palace. The door of the palace stood open, but there was no one in the sight, so the man walked in. He went into a room on the right of the hall where a fire blazed in the hearth. There he found a table set with supper for one. He was so tired and hungry, and so he decided that if there is no one here, he would have this good meal, and then he would take his horse to the stable. He sat down and enjoyed his supper. After supper, Beauty's father felt sleepy, and crossing the hall, he found a bedroom all ready for use. He went to the bedroom and slept soundly until next morning. When he woke up, his clothes were missing, but a new embroidered suit lay on the chair in their place. He dressed himself in the new clothes, and then he set off for the stable to see his horse. On the way to the stable, the man passed a beautiful white rose garden. The sight of white roses reminded him of Beauty's wish, and so he wanted to gather a bunch for her. He had only picked one rose when he heard a terrible sound behind him. Turning round, he saw a big beast. The big beast said in a loud voice,
"You ungrateful man! Whose food have you eaten? Whose bed did you sleep in? And whose clothes are you wearing? Mine, mine and mine! And you repay my kindness by stealing my roses? You shall die!"
"Please do not kill me,"
He begged.
Your life will be spared on one condition.
Replied the beast.
You must come back here in a month's time, bringing with you whatever shall meet you on your way back to your home.
Beauty's father could do nothing but to accept his only condition. As the man rode away from the palace, he thought about the promise he had given to the beast. Then he remembered how Beauty had stood waving to him as he left home. An awful thought struck him.
What if it is Beauty who first greets me on my return?
Meanwhile, Beauty waited at the window of her room, watching for her dear father to return. When she saw a figure on the horseback appear in the distance, she skipped down the garden path. Yes, it was her dear father returning home. But Beauty could not think what was wrong with him. He looked so tired and sad. Father, are you not glad to see me? He hugged his little daughter and cried. When they reached the cottage, the father told his daughter of his promise to the beast.
But you shall not return with me, Beauty, whatever happens.
He said. Beauty, however, insisted that once a promise made, it should be kept. Finally, her father agreed that at the end of the month, he would take her to the beast.